Right, a little bit of a warm one today, but still got one of the groups out to fly. So at the moment, we've got two groups. We've got the younger group, which is on this side, which is the main priority because those guys are all ready to go. And we'll get to them in a minute. But today, like when I get days like after work and it's a bit warm and I'm kind of like limited for time, I want to just make sure that at least these guys come out, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Because they've still got a long way to go, but yeah, they come along really well. They know the drill. They're really quick in trapping. For a bunch of young birds, they've actually, probably the best bunch that I've had so far. It's probably just because I've got to a point where I'm kind of like, these guys need to move pretty quickly to get them up and flying. And then, I don't know if all of these will make the race, but they may make it a little bit later in the season. Who knows? But at least I can hand pick out some that are doing quite well that we can race as well. But I'm still confident that we'll get them there. It's just going to be every single day we need to get them out. Work pending. If I'm stuck at work and run out of time, then that's not going to happen. But, they come along quite nicely. Like, realistically, I would have loved to have this group as confident and on the wing as these guys are, because these are super. They're really good at the moment. The molting and the weather, and also the falcons are back now, so they've really been putting a bit of a dampener on the birds. I'll try and get a video up during the week after work. It's really hard not to get like a good video up. We just get these updates up, check in on the birds and see how they're all going. But no falcons today. These guys don't fly very far at the moment, so it's not really too much of an issue, but it is when we sort of get the older ones up flying, because that's when the falcon seems to have a little bit of a touchy up. But it's all good. We're making progress. So we've got this bunch of birds. Some of these will not be raced. They will be held back because they're a little bit younger, but there is some in here that are definitely old enough. But we've got the team over here that is pretty busy. I'm not pushing these ones too hard at the moment because I'm really just I'll get them out every few days, a couple of times a week at the moment. And because some of these some are actually on their second last flight and molting out, so they're pretty close to being done, which, still got a fair few more weeks to go, but we've got 11 weeks before the race season, and then probably around about 7 or 8 before we probably start tossing maybe. So I feel like the birds are doing pretty well. I'm not sure what it's like in other parts of the world, but we race pretty soon after the molt, and some of the younger birds actually are molting in that season as well. That's why we can't really race them. So we'll see how we go. I am considering dropping in a few nest bowls in here, not with anything in it, just for maybe like 5 days or so. I still kind of want to get all these dialed into their pens. You'll see, there's certain cocks that have taken boxes. Look at that, Speedy Blue must be a cockbird. He's taken that box up there. And that's actually his half brother or something on the other side. I think that black one's a cock as well. So yeah, like I was saying, I feel like if I put some nest bowls in there, the cocks are going to work a lot harder to get some hens, because I'd really like all these boxes full. I don't know how many hens we've got. I know we've got a lot of cockbirds, but I'm hoping we can potentially do that. I just want any little chance, any little anything to make us just that little bit more competitive. You can see the cockbirds that have got hens are motivated and straight back in their box, which is, it's really good to see though, because we missed out on this opportunity last year, but this year I'm starting early as possible. So I thought maybe if I put some nest bowls in here, I don't really need to put it in for, like, these pairs are fine, that pair's fine, that one's fine, but we've got other, I think he's found a hen as well. I'll have to wait and see where she comes back in the box. But there is, some of these hens are still a little bit young too, so hopefully we can drop a few bowls in the boxes that have got cocks in there but no hens yet. Hey look, that's another cockbird up there too. So there's a lot of young cocks sort of starting to get pretty excited. So I don't know if a nest bowl is going to encourage them further to quickly pair up. You can put them comments down below and let me know. And it's definitely something I want to try and do, is motivate these ones as much as possible in the first race or two, win the first few, because these are going to be the main group, because these ones are still going to be trailing behind. But there's some older ones in here, and there's some also like the oldest young birds I've got in here as well, which I said are, gosh, aggressive, on their probably second last flight. So they're really not that far away, which is good to see. And that's Speedy Blue's a boy. He's taken that box like a champion, which is good. So I don't want to lose too many birds on the tossing this year. So I want to try and take it a little bit easier, get these birds motivated as possible to come back. And we're starting to do it. You can see, you know, 83's up there with the ugly hen. They're all paired up quite well. This is a new cockbird here as well, which is one of Rosetta's sons. So, you know, the cocks are starting to really sort of take these boxes. And here in Australia, we just race all the birds together. Young birds, old birds, doesn't matter. There's no such thing over here. That basically, they all just race together and they're all treated the same. So that's why we've kind of got birds everywhere, because that's how it is here. So we just got to make do what we can. And I don't think Speedy Grizzle knows, old Speedy Blue over here knows what box he's in. I'll look out, one of the older cocks are coming in. It's got the race chip on there from last year. I think that's one of Leon Storm's sons. It's a 2019 ring, I think. This is what I want. I want the cocks, all the young cocks. Look at them going here. They're all trying to get a box. I think most of the boxes are taken, so there's maybe one or two that are not 100% dialed in yet. I think once they've... See, that's not even 007's box up there. So he is the father to all these big Rosetta birds, what we crossed in, which are my birds crossed into the Veenstras. And I'll tell you what, they are some seriously impressive birds actually. The Veenstras have got some really good genetics in them. Look at these little lovebirds down here. This is what I want to see. Just, you know, bonding to the box and feeling comfortable in there, and have a little bit of motivation. I've never done it before, so hopefully this year that is the key. So I'll come back in here later and pick up some trays, and hopefully I'll get back in there tomorrow, as long as I don't get caught up with work and give them a little bit of a scrape. But yeah, pretty happy how they're going. But these guys still need quite a bit of work, but they're making some progress slowly and surely, which is good to see. Right, we need to have a little quick update on this one, because this is how much anticipated. We've got, she's on those eggs, and the old boy's just having a bit of a rest. That's kind of his spot. And when he sees me coming, he just bobs down like that and just sits there. So maybe that's just an old man thing, I don't know. But he's a good boy. He's very tame too. I can just pick him up and whatever. He's not flighty or anything, he's just cruisy, which is really good to see that he's settled in. But we are really putting some bets on these eggs. Like, they really need to be fertile. End of the day, I really need to sit down tonight and just double check the intake dates for Pattaya, when we've actually got to get them for their 4-week quarantine before we send them off. These still might make it. I just need to double check, but if they're not fertile, then definitely not going to make it. But yeah, we'll just keep checking on that slowly. Because I'll tell you what, if these make it, this pair can make, I'll tell you, they could go all the way. But we do have the backups, which are here. Still undecided whether we'll send all 4. But I think at this point, we'll definitely send the 2 out of this. These will be the full brothers and sisters to Darkstorm, which is the dark slaty one I've got over there, which is such a beautiful bird, like so smart. She's been absolutely hammering around the loft and picking it up really quickly, which is good to see. So I'm hoping that we can knock this over pretty quickly, and then we can get the birds back into just relaxing and enjoying the molt. Yeah, these guys are looking pretty good too. Let's get the bigger one up here. These are what I would have really loved to have got in, but it didn't work. So these guys are just going to be loft flying. I may toss them later in the spring or something, who knows. But you know, I'll be finished racing by then anyway. But we can still toss them while we've got cooler weather, just to give them, it's not training, it's just educating. I kind of want to educate my team pretty early this coming for next year. But he's actually a really beautiful bird, this one. Look at the wings on him. Very interesting to see how these go. He's a cool little bird, this one. So we'll see how we go. I don't know, like, I was just a bit disappointed that I didn't get rings on this one, but yeah, we got rings. Maybe next year we can utilise these. We'll race them in the following season. We can utilise them a bit more. And then we've got these other ones too, which I haven't had a chance to test these yet. I did get the only other round out of these actually went to Meadows. And then this pair really kind of struggled there for a while. But This cockbird is closely related to 3 Australian birds that went to, I think it's a South African $1 million race, and those 3 birds made it all the way through to the final race. So that's the only thing that's really sort of hinging me on actually getting these young birds into Pattaya, because they do handle those hotter climates quite well. I actually followed some of these guys last year on like Victoria Falls and also South Africa Pro, and had a bit of a hunt through all the pedigrees too, and this type of bird was in a lot of the pedigree, especially the leading birds, so that's why I was like, we could probably put it in there. The pedigrees don't mean anything, but it's just handy that we've got kind of lines that can do that kind of thing, so we just need to test them a little bit more. It's just trial and error at the moment. We'll definitely be doing a lot of testing. I can guarantee you that we'll be doing more testing over the next couple of years than we've ever done before. The bird's going to get it pretty hard, and only the best birds are going to stay here. So we'll keep a couple of colour birds on here as well, but our main one-loft birds are going to get a pretty good run over the next few seasons. And this pair, Little Storm, is in the wrong box. He's about to get kicked out. That's not his box anyway. He's in there and they are in there. But just trying to get these last few pairs out so we can just shut everyone down and get them molted and done so we can sell and get them ready for next breeding season, because that's what all they're going to be doing, is getting ready for that next breeding season. And they're my 2 Team B birds, Beekeeper and the big cockbird over here, the big boy. So catch you guys in the next video. Looks like Rosetta's found another husband. Interesting.